And as we open up today's show, we start with breaking news out of the NBA, the association. It's finally done. Portland Trailblazer legend Dame Lillard has been traded. A 3-team trade involving the Bucks, the Suns, and the Blazers. Missing the Miami Heat. In the end, they're left out in the cold. The agent, Dame Lillard, everybody said he wanted to go to South Beach. The Heat pick up the pieces. Lillard picks up a winter jacket, and he heads to Milwaukee. Yeah, I said it. So if you haven't heard, we've got a 3-team trade. Dame Lillard traded to the Bucks to join Giannis. We'll get to the gambling implications here in a second, but I'll give you the details. The Portland Trailblazers received Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, 2029 unprotected from Milwaukee, and some swaps. Phoenix gets Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. Of course, the move represents a significant surprise for Lillard, who had expected to go to Miami. Miami, who had cleared Strus and Vincent looking to save some space, are left out in the cold. We bring in the boys, just the gambling implications quickly over at DraftKings. Essentially, DraftKings has cut the price in half for the Bucks to win the East and to win the championship. Right now, they're favorites to win a championship at plus 390. Second betting favorite on the board, the Nuggets, your defending champs. Also, the win total for the Milwaukee Bucks jumps 3 games, up 3 wins, we should say. And we say hi to Amal Shaw. Amal Shaw, direct reaction as Lillard is now a Buck.
You know what? I'm happy for all sides here, particularly Milwaukee and Portland. I'm glad the Blazers didn't acquiesce and give in to some ridiculous trade that the Miami Heat wanted to offer. They got what they deemed to be a good deal for them at this point in time. You get Drew Holiday. You combine him with Shaedon Sharpe. You bring in DeAndre Ayton. Maybe a reset in location helps Ayton long term. You've got him under a contract already. I think this provides them some pretty good pieces in a very competitive Western Conference. From Milwaukee's standpoint, you lose the backcourt. Remember, Grayson Allen averaged 10.5 points a game last year. You've got Drew Holiday, tremendous elite on-the-ball defender. But you're bringing in a top 5, in my opinion, the best closer in the game. I get how good Giannis is, but to me, there's only one guy I want closing a basketball game out, and that's Damian Lillard. And you combine him with Giannis' capability inside. Giannis doesn't have to sit on the perimeter, Patrick. I think this makes this team the rightful favorite in the Eastern Conference and to win the NBA title.
Yeah, you mentioned them all. The Blazers will move forward without the superstar that is Dame Lillard. 11 seasons with the Blazers. They made the postseason 8 times, never made it to the finals. They're going to build around, as you mentioned, Shaedon Sharpe and also Scoot Henderson. Lillard, on the other hand, averaged over 32 points per last year. He turned 33 in July. He's got 4 years left on his $216 million deal. So Milwaukee accrues the services for the next 4 years. And then you take a look as we jump over to the big guy and welcome him into the show, Dustin Sweetelson. You take a look. You know, we talked about the Suns being involved in this. The Suns have long wanted to move on from DeAndre Ayton. They do so. They bring in their big to grab some boards and Nurkic, and the Blazers start the rebuild.
Thank God it's over. This Damian Lillard thing was going on for so long. It lasted longer than Grey's Anatomy. And the storyline just never developed, and this came out of nowhere. So I'll give it credit. We got a plot twist at the end. A team we never expected to be in the mix, ending up with Lillard, vaunting themselves up to the top spot on the betting board as the number 1 team on the odds to win the title. I think this is interesting from the Milwaukee perspective. One, I think it keeps Giannis happy for a very long time. I think that's a big thing here. You could have gotten Giannis a couple years from now had they not won another title, gotten annoyed that the team got complacent and weren't making enough moves. They go out and they get him a legit superstar that I think helps them, especially late in games when you have to figure out who's going to take that game-winning shot, Lillard or Giannis. From a Phoenix perspective, I love the depth that they added. From the Portland perspective, I'm not going to think about the Portland Trailblazers for probably 7 to 8 years.
I would agree with you. Well, I don't know about that. I think Shaedon Sharpe's got a capability. This is a guy, if he played at Kentucky, could have been a potential first overall pick minus Victor Wembanyama. I know Scoot Henderson is highly coveted and Portland's in great position with him. But, guys, they've got Giannis, Lillard, and Middleton locked up for a minimum of 3 years. You mentioned Damian Lillard for 4 years. Right now, I'm putting you guys on the spot. What is a success for the Milwaukee Bucks with Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Chris Middleton for the next 3 years under contract?
Got to win a championship over the next 3.
Over under one and a half.
1.5.
1.5 titles. Would you go over under?
I'll give him 1 championship. I think Lillard and Giannis win a championship together. I don't go over 1.5.
I'm biased because I love both of these guys, so I'm going to go with over. I think Patrick's probably more accurate in his assessment, but I just think these are two guys have put their egos aside, played in smaller markets, could be global. They are global superstars, but I just feel like this is a great, great fit, and you've got your cornerstone, your trio right now with Middleton. And, give Chris Middleton a ton of credit. And Drew Holiday, who got traded. These guys have played second fiddle and third fiddle to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they've done a great job of it. Now, the question is, the only concern I have, and I don't think it's probably going to be an issue, but we're in a late-game situation. Who's taking the shot? Who's getting the ball? Is there going to be an ego that gets in the way here?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, but two guys that are about as selfless.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily ever have to worry about Giannis. I would say with Lillard, he's never even had to question whether or not he was the go-to guy, but his personality lends itself to one that potentially would be selfless. Now, I guess most would imagine that social media is popping right now, including Jimmy Butler just took to social to say, look into Milwaukee about potential tampering. Also, we do have the first tweets, and you look at the other side of the coin here. You have to focus on the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat, they cleared space to bring in Dame Lillard. The NBA and Adam Silver sent a memo out to all 30 teams saying, hey, we're watching you, Heat. And in the end, Lillard, who made it very clear he wanted to end up in South Beach, he goes somewhere much, much colder in Milwaukee. Also, the first tweet from Dame Lillard that you passed along, big guy, was Lillard simply tweeting.
Old.
Oh, really?
That's years ago.
So what is that tweet?
So years ago, Dame Lillard was asked on X, when it was formerly known as Twitter, a random person, if you ever want to pick a player that you would help get into the playoffs or finals maybe, who would you pick? And he picked Giannis. Basically that he'd like to help Giannis get over the hump. And this was back in 22.
Guys, I'm telling you.
He got his wish, unless he wished Giannis played in Miami.
Well, by the way, can we just there's some days where I believe in a higher power. And today is one of those days where Damian Lillard didn't end up on the Miami Heat, who even though I had a bet on them to win the title last year, they're really annoying. They're really obnoxious. Heat culture is the most overrated, most annoying thing going in the NBA at the moment. And I'm just happy they didn't end up getting Damian Lillard here.
Well, look, they would have been a better team with Damian Lillard, but I still don't think that would have necessarily put them over the top because you still need the balance to me. You've got the Joker in the front court. You've got Giannis in the front court. Can you imagine if we get an NBA Finals this year in Milwaukee and Denver? Giannis versus the Joker? That would be absolutely outstanding. You got Dame against a healthier Jamal Murray. That'd be so much fun to watch. Middleton and Porter. I mean, I know it's early, and we're talking, in June? But still, the idea of it potentially happening would be fantastic.
I'm not sure why the Miami Heat would need Dame Lillard when every single NBA expert we've had on the show has completely waterboarded me with Jimmy Butler being a superstar. Can we just, what's the point? He is that guy. He is him. What is the point? Why would you need Lillard, to your point, as we extend it? Okay, so if you're just joining us here on Sharp Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, a blockbuster from the association, trying to steal some of that shine from football. It ain't going to happen, because guess what? In 3 minutes, we're going right to the NFL. So nice little work here for the NBA. But the Portland Trail Blazers are trading Dame Lillard to play alongside Giannis with the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a 3-team deal. Also includes the Phoenix Suns. Portland receives Drew Holiday with the youngsters, as Amal mentioned. DeAndre Ayton, maybe a change of scenery helps for the soft big guy, a first-rounder, and some flips. The Suns get Nurkic. They get a big. They get Grayson Allen, a little backcourt help, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. The deal, of course, comes months after Lillard formally requested a trade in early July. And also, his agent came out right around the same time and said he absolutely wants to head to Miami. He heads to Milwaukee. So there it is, boys. And again, just to kind of give you the gambling ramifications or betting market ramifications here, DraftKings has essentially cut their price in half to win the Eastern and also win the championship. Amal, you said a little short there on the Bucks right now, favored at plus 390 to win the championship next year.
Yeah, I think in the NBA, unless you got to go back for me to the dominant Warriors of a few years ago, and then the early Lakers in 2000, 2001, 2002, where you had Shaq and Kobe, to have a team be that short of a number. The NBA guys, too many games, 82-game stretch, and then postseason, you're talking about 100-plus games. I mean, you got to win 16 to win the title. So unless you're going 16-2, you're playing more than 100 games. And I think with injuries and other things being a factor, it's always a concern. Look, I'm being optimistic because I love watching Giannis and I love watching Dame, but at the end of the day, still a lot of things to navigate. On paper, they look great. They've taken a step in the right direction, but I'm not looking to jump on them at plus 390 right now. If we started the postseason tomorrow, and even if Milwaukee's a 1 seed, what are they, 2-1? Yes, you don't want to be cut in half on the value, but do you really want to type your money now through April 15th on a team at plus 390?
Just taking a look here, it looks like DraftKings has taken the season wins off the board. As I look, Dustin, maybe you see something differently. No, they're on the board. It's 55. 55.5 over, under 110 up and down. So 55.5 a solid number. Based on what we're hearing from the traders over at DraftKings, it appears it was sitting right around 52.5 prior to the Dame Lillard trade.
It's a big old number there for them to go over
55.5 is juicy, boys.
Well,
55.5 is
They've
juicy.
exceeded the number 3 out of the last 5 years. Last year they wound up with 58 wins. The previous 2 years, 51 and 46, 56 4 years ago. So I don't think it's out of the question. But guys, I got to tell you, for me, I wouldn't play that one. It's not an outstanding number. I don't think this team cares about the regular season. Health,
that's why.
Health, and let's get to April.
Okay. Breaking news again. Lillard will join Giannis with the Bucks.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.